Hey, what's up guys? It's John from AdSense Flippers, and we're going to go over editing content. So we recommend that you outsource most of your content creation for two reasons. First of all, it's really not a good use of your time for you to do it yourself. And then secondly, if you hire people to do it directly into your organization, we found they tend to burn out within a couple months. You know, just sitting down and writing 400 to 500 word articles, for 8 hours a day, gets mind-numbing for anybody. So we recommend you just find some contractors to do it, and if you want to hire VAs to manage those contractors, that's fine, but we don't recommend you do it yourself. Alright, so you've ordered your content and it's come back from either Fiverr or iWriter, and now you're going to have to edit it, read it over, and double check it. And the process is the same whether you're doing it yourself or whether your VA is doing it, but you want to sort of put this content into a specific format so that when you go back later to upload it to WordPress and to turn it into pages and posts, you want that to be easy to do. So we're gonna go over that process. All right. So usually when you get an article back, this is just a fake article. It's nonsense text. It'll probably look something like this. So pretty straightforward. Your writer will probably have bolded your keywords and all of that, and you're going to have to go through and edit it a little bit. So we're going to pretend this is your primary piece of content for a website. And I just picked a random term here, blue water bottles, we're going to call it. So we're going to pretend that this is for blue water bottles. .org. I have no idea if that domain is taken or available or if you'd even want it. Just making this up as I go. Okay? And so we want to keep track of what's going on here, so we're going to write down our primary keyword, which is going to be blue water bottles, and then our secondary keywords. Alright. And primary. Alright. We'll need this information later when we log into WordPress to upload this. Next, we're going to need a tagline. This is going to be the tagline for our website. And you want it to include your primary keyword and be around, let's say, 120 characters. So, your best resource for blue water bottles. Okay, that's fine. Probably make it a little bit longer, but that'll work for now. And then we also need an About Us page. So you want to write something that's a couple sentences long, but you want to include all of your keywords, so including your main keywords. So we company that helps you to buy all of the best. Again, this is kind of silliness in terms of writing, but that's okay. All the best blue water bottles. Whether you like blue plastic water bottles, plain plastic water bottles, or regular H2O bottles, we can help you find what you're looking for. Okay, you may want to write something that makes a little bit more sense and is a little more informative, but this gives you the general idea. And then lastly, we're going to write an SEO description. And this is really important because when you log into WordPress, you're going to copy this text into a certain box, and that's what's going to show up when people search for it on the actual internet within the Google results. So make sure you write something that's going to be, somewhat enticing, like best blue water bottles on the internet. Find out more about our bottles and health risks associated with certain types of plastics. Okay. Make sure you include your primary keyword, and then I sort of put like this health risk thing in here. Maybe people will look at that and think, oh, I want to know more about bottles that are, not good for my health or whatever. Alright, and then lastly, we need a title. It's going to be a title to the article. You want to include your primary keyword, try and keep it short, and try and keep the keyword to the front of the title. So blue water bottles. Oops. I think for this one we'll just use the straight keyword. Sometimes I'll add a couple words in the end, but we'll just go with that. Okay? Now we're going to go ahead and differentiate the two sections. Go ahead and bold all of this stuff. Okay, now we need to go into the actual article itself, and we want to read through this thing to make sure that it makes sense. Okay, especially for your primary content, you want it to not only make sense, but probably to be a little bit useful as well. Okay, so you don't want to put just total jargon out there. Secondly, you'll get this thing back, and probably only your keywords will be highlighted. You want this to look more natural, so you might highlight or bold entire sentences. You might do italics here or there, or you might even go through and try and create a bulleted list of some kind. So the whole idea is to not only make the content look more normal, but to also make it more readable and more useful for the people who actually come to your site. So we're going to do that real quick. Make a little bulleted list here. Okay. It's also important when you create a bulleted list that you go in. I'm using OpenOffice, but you can use just regular Word as well. And you want to make sure you pick the circular, round, small circular bullets, because those will translate fine when you go in and move this article to WordPress. Okay, we've done that. And we'll break this paragraph up a little bit because it's a little bit long. Okay. Okay, we've got two more things that we need to do here. We want to add a couple headings in our content to make sure that, just for SEO benefits, and then we want to double check our keywords to make sure that those are all in here. So let's go, let's look over this thing and see where we can add some headings with our keyword in it. So let's start with blue water bottles. Looks like a pretty good spot. Blue water bottle. And more. Okay, and we'll go in here. You can use an H2 or an H3. We use H2 headings. Come in here. Let's say H2O bottle info. Okay, same thing here. Again, you want to have some keywords in these headings. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think we're all set with this. So next thing we want to do is we want to double check and make sure that the person who wrote this put in all the keywords we want to put in. Best way to do that is to go first to your primary keyword. We're going to copy that, Control F to search for it, find all. Okay, and now we're going to highlight those. So we'll go in here. Oops. Use the highlighter. Alright. So now I can go through here and I can actually see where all the spots in my article are that have blue water bottles. So looks like it's in here 4 times, so we're good. That's the minimum. Let's go ahead and check all our secondary keywords. Find all. We'll highlight these as well. Different colors. Let's change this keyword. It's going to conflict with the one before it. Actually, let's just dump it. We'll just pretend there's 2 here. Cool. Let's find this one. Copy. Find all. And I'll make that one blue. Cool. So now I can go through here and I can double check and make sure that all the keywords I requested are in this article. I can see what the density is and where they're located if I need to move some things around or highlight them or bold them, whatever it is that I need to do to get this thing done. So that looks pretty good. And we can leave these highlights in here because when we go, or when either us or one of our employees goes to build the website and is going to copy and paste all this text into WordPress, the highlights won't translate. So just makes everything a little bit more clear. Alright, that's pretty much it. That's editing your content. Once you do this with each of your pieces, you'll pretty much be ready to go, and then you won't really have to bother with this, editing content or anything when you go to build your site. That's it.